I'm Sam from Cultaholic.com, and this is Graded for Friday Night SmackDown, where I take a look at the show segment by segment and award each little bit a grade from A+ to F. So it's upon us. The Rumble is this Sunday. It's tomorrow. So this is SmackDown. SmackDown is the final show before the Rumble and Worlds Collide. And so it's the go-home show. It should be pretty straightforward. They tend to be pretty paint by numbers. You know, you have your usual, this is how a Rumble works spot with a big brawl. You'll have your usual sort of back and forth. Maybe a babyface will get a big win over the heel. Maybe it ends ambiguously. But without any further ado, I guess we may as well have a look at it rather than sit here and speculate. Hit the intro. So we kick things off straight into a match, start things as you mean to go on. We have the Usos and Roman Reigns against Corbin, Roode and Ziggler. The match starts off pretty straightforward. The Usos take it to Ziggler, and they take it to Ziggler so bad that Roode has to step in and sort of save his bacon. Roode has a bit of back and forth with Jimmy Uso, whipping him into the corner, and then Uso sprints at him, and he does just, you know, the standard up and over. He shoves him up, he goes over, and he lands on the apron, except he doesn't land on the apron. Jimmy sort of slips off the apron, and like in midair as he's falling past the stairs, Ziggler just nails him straight into the steps with, I think, a zigzag, and that's it. Jimmy Uso is out of the match. So there's a bit of ambiguousness heading into the break, and when we come back, it's 3-on-2. It's a handicap match. But Ziggler is being isolated by Jay and Roman, so at least it's the babyfaces in control. Corbin then gets in. Uso manages to keep him at a bit of a safe distance, but then he gets planted with the deep six. He doesn't get pinned though. No, instead he gets ground into a mushy pulp. Yeah, right. They may as well have been cheese grating him into the mat. There's like a double down with a really hot crowd for Roman about to get the hot tag, and Corbin pulls his leg away at the last second, making him come off the apron. That was really nice. And Corbin then sends Roman into the crowd before we go into the break. After a little while, Roman sort of eventually is getting ready for the Superman punch, but he gets distracted. But then pretty soon after this, Ziggler goes for a super kick, but Roman connects with a Superman punch, reversing it sort of right in the middle of the maneuver. It was great. And then there's a sort of double down. Roman's knackered, Ziggler's knackered. It's like, what's gonna happen? Roman's got nobody to tag, and then from the back, it's Jimmy Uso. He comes sprinting down to the ring, and that's it. He comes in and he's like sort of, you know, second wind. He's all right now. Ultimately, Jimmy would pick up the win with the splash, while Roman and Corbin sort of brawl their way out through the crowd, which is, as we said in the intro, a taste of things to come for their match at Royal Rumble on Sunday. But I'm going to give this match an A. It was a well-constructed and exciting opener. I'm excited to see Corbin get his comeuppance at the Rumble, and we can all sort of move on from this storyline, and I was surprised at how well-paced the match was. There is then a promo with Michael Cole and Lacey Evans at the top of the ramp, and it's very, very emotionally charged. Michael Cole sort of like addresses the fact that Lacey's made it her mission to sort of stop bullies, and that's sort of what she sees in Bayley and Sasha. They're bullies. And he mentions that she didn't have a conventional upbringing. She mentions that her dad fought long and hard battles with addiction and unfortunately lost those battles. And it's a really, really touching promo. And it is like, I was sort of sat going, like, I can't really grade this because it's you know, it wouldn't really be fair to grade something like that. And then Bayley attacks her from behind. It's just sort of a bit ultimate heat, but like she was proper shedding a tear. It was a bit, felt a bit awkward. We then go backstage, and Dana and Carmella are being interviewed, and it's your standard hyping up the Rumble fare. They're just, you know, going on about how action-packed it's going to be, but then a brawl sort of is heard nearby. I guess it's broken out again backstage. Camera goes over, and it's Bayley and Lacey, and Dana and Carmella are sort of angry, I guess, at their screen time being stolen. They go over, try and break it up a little bit, and then just join in with the little bit brawl. We're then apparently going to have a women's tag match pitting Fire and Desire and Alexa and Nikki against one another. They come down to the ring. I think literally the first punch gets thrown, and then out they all come sprinting from the back. We have a big brawl, and it's, you know, we have to see how a Royal Rumble works. As is tradition, we have to see how a Royal Rumble match works on the go-home show. So they're all, you know, fighting each other, or somebody goes over the rope. Michael Cole's like, well, both feet touch the floor. Your standard stuff. There was so much going on. Again, as I said, there was like the emotionally charged promo. It all led into this weird match. I don't know what to grade it. I think maybe give it a question mark, but to be honest, I don't even know if I can give it that, because it was just sort of like, it was like a big advert. I just don't know what to do with it. We then go to Elias in the ring, and Elias is out there, he's singing a song about the Rumble, he runs down Seth, he runs down a couple of other people, but he's like, you know what? And he invites Braun down. He's like, get Braun down here, basically, I want to have a duet with him. So Braun comes down, and he's like, so what do you all think? And the crowd are going wild, and just as he's about to sing, he's cut off by Cesaro's theme. So the next match is Braun and Elias against Cesaro and Nakamura. Elias starts this one off really strong. He even walks the ropes like old school style, like Undertaker, except instead of just jumping down, he does that like double knee stomp thing he does. But then of course, because of Sami Zayn, a series of distractions allows Cesaro to gain the upper hand, and Elias takes a little bit of a beating. Before the break, he's even driven to the floor. I think Nakamura just nails him with a running knee, and Braun has to come over and shove Nakamura and just sort of, not like a brawl, but just sort of like put a stop to just the crap. When we come back, Elias is desperate to make the tag. Braun is there, he's ready to go, and then Cesaro and Nakamura both team up and drive him to the floor. He eventually gets in though, and of course he empties the house. He cleans it, he just destroys everything in his path. He gets Nakamura with that horrible clubbing blow that he does, which is just, the thud is awful. But Nakamura, being smaller and faster, his speed is able to help him. He's able to get out of the danger zone and get to Cesaro. Cesaro gets in against Braun, and even though he brings it, he can't quite get it done. Braun is really, really pumped up, so he decides he's going to go for a chair. Nakamura grabs the chair for him, he's about to hand it to Cesaro, and Elias cuts him off on the outside. Braun then hits the running power slam, and Elias hits the elbow drop, Macho Man style, to pick up the win. And it's weird, because you get to hear Elias's theme music, and you barely ever get to hear Elias's theme music, because he's usually in the ring, sort of already there, having his segment. So that, it was just, like, for me, I was like, crap, yeah, he's got theme music. It was really, really strange. I'm going to give it a C+. It was a bit of an obvious win. It was a little bit paint by numbers, but it was fun. It was entertaining. It was, it was a wrestling match. And I quite liked the finish, the sort of hectic nature of trying to get the chair and Elias coming from out of nowhere and stopping it, and then the big elbow. That was really cool. We then go to the New Day backstage, and Big E is being oiled up by a small man. And when Kofi's like, what are you doing? He's like, and I quote, because if your boy is greasy, eliminating me can't be easy. They then just hype up Kofi's match against Morrison later in the night, and the Rumble itself, but just the visual of Big E getting just oil massaged into him by a little man, and then I think he kisses him on the forehead before it was just really, I wasn't expecting to see that this week. Corbin's then stopped backstage, and he's, asked like, well, you two brawled off, are you worried about your match? And he's like, no, I'll give him the beating of his life, and you standard stuff. There's then a little Sheamus promo in which he says he's going to end what he started at the Rumble. He makes some rat jokes about Shorty G. That's about it. And then we go to the final match of the night, which is John Morrison against Kofi Kingston. So the New Day come down and everything, and then the Miz comes out with Morrison and cuts a promo, and he says that both of them, Miz and Morrison, they're going to be in the Rumble match. He hypes up Morrison big time, and then we head down for the match to start proper. So Morrison in the opening of this one seems like he's being a little bit rough, like he's trying to assert power. He's the ring general here, but Kofi isn't backing down. Kofi, if Morrison's delivering it, Kofi's just coming straight back with it. So both guys are going blow for blow, flip for flip, and dive for dive, and it's not until we sort of need to go to the break and Kofi's sort of knocked to the outside that Morrison gains the upper hand. And then once we get back from the break, Kofi really seems to be being spread a little bit thin. Like, Morrison even nearly hits Starship Pain on him in pretty much the opening phase of the match. Kofi then takes the lead though, laying in some strikes, laying in some kicks. He even hits a boom drop, but he's caught short again by Morrison. He goes for a Trouble in Paradise, and Morrison hits this like spinning super kick just as he's about to connect. Just a perfect blend of styles. Kofi's got that capoeira stuff going on, and Morrison is just insane. Just insane. Morrison then drives Kofi up the turnbuckles, sort of like into a superplex position, I guess, but he's like seated and he's climbing up, but Kofi's fending him off, and then it's Miz distracting the referee. This allows Morrison to rake Kofi's eyes. He also hits a Spanish fly there, but it's not enough. Kofi kicks out, Kofi hits an SOS, it's just going back and forward. But then Miz and Big E get into it, and this proves to sort of be the downfall of Kofi in the match. So Miz sort of annoys Big E, I guess. Big E chases him around the ring. He gets up on the apron, Miz, and then Kofi, seeing this opportunity, sort of just nails him and sort of strikes him off the apron to the floor, and this allows Morrison to take advantage of the match. So he strikes Kofi from behind with like sort of a sucker punch, I guess, hits him with the Starship Pain, and picks up the 3, and I'm gonna give this a B. As I said, there's like a perfect blend of styles going on here. Morrison was always a guy that was like years ahead of everybody else when it came to the innovative sort of high-flying stuff. Kofi has the capoeira element. Both guys just know how to bring the best out of each other. I think this is the best launch pad for Morrison's return, and I'm keen to see who they're going to let him tear it up with next. Like, I would really, really like somehow for him to have a feud with Andrade, because I think that would be very, very entertaining. And then we go to the main event, I guess, like the main segment to close the show. It is the contract signing between Daniel Bryan and The Fiend. So just to recap, Bryan and The Fiend are going one-on-one in a strap match at the Rumble. If you don't know what a strap match is, it's essentially a long belt, like a huge leather belt with 2 loops at the ends, so you can sort of attach one to somebody's wrist, one to another person's wrist, and it means your opponent can't get more than however long, I think it's like 10 feet away from you. So you're tethered together, and then eventually always the strap itself becomes a weapon. Somebody will get like trapped up, somebody will use it to like leverage somebody. It's quite an old school style match, but it's usually quite an entertaining one. So Bryan comes to the ring. I think he signs his end of the contract straight away, and he's like, come on, Bray, out you come on. And then they're cut off by Firefly Funhouse. Bray is trying to fax his contract through because his lawyer, Mercy the Buzzard, has said there is no point of him going down to the ring. He doesn't advise him going down to the ring tonight. Bryan tells Bray that he's a coward. He keeps running him down, but he says the word mistake, and Bray cuts him off. He's like, mistake is the word of the day. Bray then calls Bryan a liar and a betrayer, and he says, well, you know, you're not facing me on Sunday, so why should I come down to the ring? You're facing him. So it's only natural that he should be there, not me. And then the lights start going out one by one. The lights come up, the Fiend is obviously there, it's all red. He chokes Bryan out, he hits him with Sister Abigail, and then he goes to sit down at the table. And this is where I got really worried, because I was like, is he just gonna sign it? Because like an interdimensional demon wouldn't just sit down and use a pen. No, what he does is he picks up the pen, he sort of looks at it and starts laughing, and then he puts his hand out, and then he proceeds to stab his hand over and over and over again, and then he just scrapes the blood down the contract. Oh yeah, as well, he beat Bryan with the strap. As I was saying, they tend to use the strap as a weapon if you're not familiar with the match type, so it's sort of, again, just a little taste of things to come tomorrow night. But in terms of a grade, this gets an A. This gets an A all bloody day. Again, Bray proving that he can take the most mundane, played-out wrestling stereotype, the contract signing, you know, which when you look at it's ridiculous anyway, because the carpet, there's a desk in the middle of the ring. Why would it be done in front of everybody like that? Why wouldn't they just do it like backstage or on the stage? But you know, he's taken a very played out stereotype and he's once again made it massively interesting. Bryan as well, obviously, you can't say one without the other because this feud's been golden. But yeah, it's just like they've found new ways to approach every sort of played out traditional trope that you would see in wrestling, and they've made them fresh, and it's really, really cool. But overall, I'm going to give this week's episode of SmackDown a B+. As I said in the intro, we knew what we were getting with the hype train heading into this one. It's the Rumble, so we'd see an example of a Rumble-style spot brawl. You know, you had the Roman Corbin brawling, you had the strap match stuff at the end, but again, we had like a great opener, we had a great closing match, and we had that fantastic closing segment, so it's pretty solid episode. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments below. You can follow Cultaholic on Twitter at Cultaholic. You can check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. If you like what we do here at Cultaholic, you can check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/Cultaholic. And no matter what you do, don't ever forget to hit subscribe and join us.